Welcome to the Stream Key podcast, our weekly show. We talk with streamers on Twitch about ways to improve on that platform. This week, I'm super happy to have finally our special guest Nexus on.
Thank you.
Nexus, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much.
How you doing today?
Happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. Finally.
Yeah.
After last time.
Do you want to explain what happened for people?
Yeah. So our power went out of the blue, and it didn't come back on until way late that night, way later that night. So
that's rough, but it's all right. We are back now. We finally have him, so it's all right. I hope you guys are doing well today. For anyone who doesn't know the format of this show, basically I'll talk to Nexus for about 30 to 40 minutes about this week's topic, which is partnership. I might make this like sort of a regular series, just talking with partnered streamers, how they got to where they are on Twitch, lessons they have for people who want to go down the same path, and where to go after that. So should be a cool discussion, I think. Nexus is a partnered streamer, like I said. And so if you have a question for Nexus or myself about streaming, Twitch, whatever, save that towards the end. At about 12:40, 40 minutes from now, we will open up questions to the chat. If you want to ask something yourself, have that featured on here and we will address it. So yeah. Anyway, let's get into the show a little bit. So Nexus, for people who maybe don't know you, who haven't really seen your stream too much before, can you just give like a short description of what your channel is about, what you do on your channel?
So my main thing is I play Rocket League. I was on a Rocket League professional team for a while until a couple months ago. But mainly it's just Rocket League, some other games here and there, but it's a pretty chill stream. We talk a lot of eSports because, it's kind of my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's my total stream right there.
Awesome. Lots of Rocket League mostly.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
And how long you been streaming?
I've been streaming on and off for 2 years, but straight away, like for a while now, for about like 8 months, like solid streaming consistently.
Okay.
For about 8 months.
Nice. Wow. That's awesome. So I like to ask this question to everybody who comes on the show. Your name Nexus, which by the way is so cool that you have just the straight name Nexus. A, like why do you have that name? And B, how did you get that name?
Okay. So why I have the name, I was a little bit of a meanie, I guess you could say. My friend had the name, and I really liked it because I had some really stupid names before that. I had One Touch TV because One Touch in soccer, Rocket League. I had One Touch TV. I had Two Infinity, which is one that I really liked, and the one before that was Shots, which I changed once PUBG came out because people would say Shots and look everywhere trying to figure out where they were coming from. So I had to change my name, and then I liked his name. And he was like, yeah, dude, I'm changing my name, so just use it from now on. I was like, all right, cool. And then how I got it, when you get partnership, you can request one name change. And if it's an inactive account, you're able to take that account name. So I found this account, and it hadn't been used since like 2011. And it was following one person. And I was like, that's mine now. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know. That's crazy that no one had been using that name since that long. But yeah. So you're basically just steal cool names, basically, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm a thief. No, I'm a name thief.
That's great though. I really like the Shots name too in PUBG. That just sounds hilarious.
It was interesting.
Awesome. So last question here as a warm up. What is sort of your favorite streaming moment on Twitch? If you could look back at your last 8 months, is there one memory that you think is just like really excites you the most about Twitch, makes you want to keep doing it, etc.?
Okay, so for the most memorable and favorite memory, it's going to be kind of two different things, to be honest.
Okay, that's fine.
So one of them was it was recently. I was playing just Fortnite, rarely. I just started playing Fortnite, and the first like 3 games consecutively that I played, I killed Ninja and Tim the Tap Man 3 times in a row. Now, of course, he thinks that I'm stream sniping him. So that's probably the most memorable thing. I'll remember that one forever.
That's crazy. I feel like that's the kind of thing where someone makes a YouTube video about that.
I've looked everywhere.
Yeah.
And I've only managed to find one thing with a clip of me killing him in it. And other than that, no, I haven't found anything. But yeah, I was hoping. I was like, this might help. But 3
consecutive games?
3. So I killed him 1 game, and I think there may have been a 1-game gap where he played. But I killed him 1 game and continued that game. The next game I queued, I killed him. The next game I queued, I killed him. And the game after that, he killed me. But
that's
I don't
hilarious.
talk about that part because, I don't like talking about Ninja killing me.
Oh
But no,
man,
it was funny.
I had a friend who did that once, but 3 times in a row is you got to be some sort of record. That's
Yeah, I
great.
think that is the record.
Awesome. So
Anybody who
that
broke it, please tell me.
right. So that's your most memorable one, I guess.
That's probably my most memorable thing.
Okay.
And the greatest memory, I was able to have a one-on-one with Tim the Tap Man.
Oh, nice.
It was very short. It was very, very short. I've been watching him since he was I have a picture on my Twitter that I took a screenshot off of like my old iPad. And I've been watching him since he had about 20,000 followers. And I was able to have a one-on-one with him when he was nearing like the 500,000 mark.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really, really, really like good thing for me. It really got me into streaming.
I don't know if you can share, but like, what kind of stuff did you guys talk about in terms of like motivation for streaming or?
We mainly, I mean, it was very short. I think it was 10 to 15 minutes, but it was just talking about streaming in general. I asked him, how he got into streaming and stuff like that. And it was from just playing different games. It was really interesting. I don't remember the specifics completely of it, but I remember it really it's kind of what boosted me into the streaming world.
Sure. It got you really excited about what's to come, basically.
Definitely.
Did he somehow like help your audience at all? Or
No,
was it more
he
just,
didn't.
okay, just,
I find like, I guess you could call it leeching in a way.
mm-hmm.
I don't really do that, and I've never really done it.
Sure.
Because a lot of times you just get bad publicity, and people say there's no such thing as bad publicity, blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
Right.
there is.
I just want to make sure, because you said,
yeah.
he helped you start streaming. I don't know if that meant like
Well,
literally helped you with viewers
no.
or if he just
No,
like figuratively. Yeah.
Figuratively, he talked to me about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool, dude. Awesome.
Yeah.
I did not expect to hear that. So that's a cool story. So let's get into partnership. You are a partner streamer on Twitch and have been streaming for 8 months, which is pretty crazy. I just got to say, I don't know a lot of other streamers in that position. So to start with, can you kind of unpack that process of, when partnership happened, just the whole long story, we got some time on this podcast. So how it all happened.
So it started like I'll start at the very beginning of my streaming. I was on and off. I'd stream maybe 1 day a week, 2 days a week, and just stream like, I think I streamed Roblox and Minecraft at the very beginning. I had some really crappy laptop that I somehow managed to do it off of. And, as time progressed and different games started coming out, I got a better computer. I started streaming off of that. And then I got into the eSports world. I got into the eSports world around when I was 13, 12 or 13. And I was a social media manager for an eSports team. And, just talking with them, figuring out, they had partnered streamers that they were able to partner through their eSports organization.
Sure.
And talking with them and, learning like, oh, wow, I can just, play some game professionally or semi-professionally and be able to get, Twitch partnership, help boost that way. That was really interesting to me. But yeah, as I kept doing that, I jumped around esports teams. I believe the first one that I did was Lux. They've since shut down. I moved on a couple years later, as about last November. I joined one called Damage Incorporated, which was the one that got me partnered. I was playing Rocket League for them on a team, and I was able to get partnership through that.
Okay.
So that was in December when I got partnership.
So you were actually an esports player?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Very cool.
I also did casting. I saw GamerDad say it in the chat. I also did casting for a while. I'm working on something magical in the background that I can't really talk about, but that'll involve that stuff too. So
sure.
Yeah. Esports has just been my way for a long time. And
right.
It's not going to end anytime soon.
So you are you still an esports athlete right now or
no?
Okay.
I cut that in February.
Okay.
I decided to just take a break from it, and I tried starting my own team, which miserably failed. And yeah, it just completely failed. So I've been just taking a break, kind of chilling, trying to build stuff back up, and yeah.
Sure. Awesome. So was there overlap when you ended, you're on a team for a while, and it sounds like that's really what kind of gave you the boost on Twitch, because you're getting eyes on you, with your team and everything. Was there overlap where you were streaming and still on the team, or was it very like you stopped being on the team and then started streaming?
So it was happening at the same time.
Okay.
Esports and streaming go so well together.
Mm-hmm.
People don't really realize that. There's a caster in Taro who is a caster for Rainbow Six Siege, pro caster. For those, you may know him, you may not. But he was kind of like the base for me to realize, wow, esports and streaming go so well together. You don't have to stream a tournament or something like that. You can just talk esports in your stream.
Sure.
And, since I had so much previous experience in esports, it was just easy that way for me.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I get everything there. So cool. 8 months. That's crazy though, man. I feel like most people kind of aren't in that same situation with esports to be able to take advantage of that, but
definitely not.
Still a cool.
I consider myself very lucky.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. It's a rarity, but it's happening more.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like there are a lot of Twitch is partnering with a lot of teams, both big and small.
Right.
To get streamers out there. Twitch wants new streamers, which is great to see.
Sure. Absolutely. So, okay. So for esport people in particular, maybe for like very high skilled players, I'm guessing you were a player before you were a streamer. Is that right?
I was a streamer before I was a player. Because
okay.
When I was streaming like way back, that's how I found out about esports, because they'd stream League, they'd stream Dota on Twitch, stuff like that.
Sure.
And I was like, wow, these people are like playing video games, and there are a ton of people watching them. Wow, let me do this.
Right.
So
okay.
Kinda,
Well, did you have any sort of struggle? You're playing on a competitive team for Rocket League. Was there a struggle of balancing, performing really well at the game while also entertaining a stream? Did that ever a struggle for you?
Yes. So the entertainment value of when you're playing at a professional level, it's hard to keep an entertainment value because you're so focused on playing well, and that's why a lot of people watch you. It's not as much for the, you're funny or stuff like that. It's more for the, okay, this guy's really good at this game.
Right.
I'm going to watch him. So like the transition back from, esports and, being really good at a game and trying to jump to different games and stuff like that, your viewers aren't used to that. So that big transition was difficult. It's still happening and it's still difficult, but yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think, again, you're probably in the minority of people who are so good at a game you can go pro, but yes. I think that's still an important thing people don't think about if they are in that position, balancing, playing really well at a game, and if that's what your chat wants to see out of you versus trying to constantly talk to them and being distracted by a chat, things like that.
Yeah, because like within like a competitive game like CSGO, I played CSGO on a team for a while, not professionally. Mm-hmm. I played CSGO on a team for a while. And, the only time you can really talk to chat and stuff like that is, if you die, you can look over at chat really quick, say, oh, hey, what's up, Snoop Hogg, or what's up, Beardy, really quick, read some chat, and then go back.
Right.
And, so there's very, very little interaction. But other than that, yeah.
Awesome. I see people in the chat, by the way. I don't know how we got in the World of Tanks directory. I definitely put talk shows. I don't know if it, switched the last second or something, but...
Talk shows on a tank.
Yeah. Somebody said World of Talk Shows, so that's what we're going with.
World of Talk Shows. All right.
So on your trip to partnership, basically, was it sort of like can you kind of explain more about specifically how you got partnered? I mean, was it, you were streaming and pulling 75 plus viewers every time, or was it like part of the team?
I was not pulling 75 plus viewers. Average. I did pull sometimes 75 viewers or more. It just really varied day to day, of course, like any stream.
Sure.
But the way that it went is I signed a contract with the esports organization that I was with at the time, saying that I would stream and promote their brand. And in return, I would receive Twitch partnership. So I had to sign a contract with Twitch. I had to sign a contract with the esports team that I was on.
Okay.
And, when there were some issues I don't really want to talk about, there were some issues, and the contract with the esports team was voided. But the contract with Twitch remained. So I kept my partnership that way.
Sure.
So again, really rare, super lucky.
Right.
But yeah.
Now, Twitch is definitely good about, once you have something, it's yours, right? They're not going to take it away from you.
They're, they work with you, which is really good.
That's good. Cool. So, man, that's tough because that's such a hard thing to emulate,
It is, yeah.
But so let's say, as someone who is now partnered, for people who want to hit partnership on Twitch, maybe even for yourself as, you're trying to push to 75 viewers or so, or just higher viewers in general, what kind of tips do you have for people who are, first of all, just pursuing that? Any strategies, tools, lessons you've learned along the way?
Okay. So mentors, I'm just going to say this now. First of all, podcasts are great to listen to. If you can ever listen to a podcast, this podcast is great. I've listened to the ones previous to this. They're great. Another person, which I'm sure you've heard of, Professor Broman.
Mm-hmm.
He has an excellent podcast. I can't remember the name of it at this moment.
It's like the Broman podcast, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just Broman podcast.
Yeah.
And he answers questions from his community and stuff like that about streaming. And he talks with a lot of, like Gary Vee recently, about streaming and stuff like that. So he's excellent to listen to. Strategies, social media. Social media is your best friend. Use it as much as you can. Talk to your community, reply to people, retweet stuff. Hashtags are huge. Those are like my main things that I've always used. Be on every social media you can imagine: Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Sure.
MySpace if you want. I don't recommend it, but if you want to, go ahead.
I mean, the more bases you can cover, right?
Yeah, the more bases you can cover. Facts.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, those are my main strategies. It's just social media, podcasts, YouTube videos to learn about it. And yeah,
I would say two things. One, I think mentors are really undervalued on Twitch because you see those in almost every other industry, but not so much in streaming. The scenario you had with Tim the Tapman is kind of once in a lifetime thing, but
definitely.
Still, there are other streamers who are a little bit bigger than you, or even like fairly bigger than you, who can probably give you feedback and help you along the way. So I think people should definitely look out for that. Stream coaching is a good way to do that, but also social media in particular. So you think that's really important.
Yes.
What platforms, if you had to choose like one or two platforms to go with for your stream promotion, what would you choose, and how do you tend to use them? What are kind of the most effective ways to use social media for you?
3 I used: Reddit, Instagram, and Twitter. Reddit, Instagram, and Twitter are my top ones. Twitter, because it's so easy to just tweet something out, interact with people really quickly, throw up a hashtag, whatever, and then people interact with you. It's easy to get those interactions.
Sure.
Reddit, massive platform, millions of people talking, another great way to do it.
So
Instagram, go ahead.
I was going to say, so real quick, with the Reddit in particular, we actually haven't had anyone on the show who's really used that much. So I'd love to learn some more about like how specifically, certain subreddits, certain posts that you put on there. What do you do?
So what's generally accepted is you don't post your own stuff.
Sure.
So you kind of have to rely on your community to, post a clip of you hitting some nutty shot in CSGO or something like that. You have to kind of rely on your community for that. And then as you see this go up, you can comment on it, share it around on Instagram, share it around on Twitter, on whatever. But, replying to people in comments using the Twitch subreddit, which very few people use, using Purple Plus, which Twitch has started. It was a while back, and barely anybody knows about that. Purple Plus is a great way to get yourself out there for other people to notice you, and reach out to other streamers, which is a huge thing.
Sure. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, Purple Plus, basically, if you go to the Twitch subreddit, you can link your Reddit account to your Twitch account, and there's all these integrations where every time you post on Reddit, it shows your Twitch link. You can find Twitch Purple is its own website, I think.
Yes.
And you can see anyone who's a Twitch and Reddit user, all their streams. Just another way to be found, basically.
It's a great way to be found.
Yeah, really cool platform. But yeah, I think you also mentioned just posting like game or clip highlights on, I guess, game subreddits has worked well for you.
So if you go to different subreddits, like for example, there's a Rocket League subreddit, post a clip of yourself hitting some nutty shot on there and be found that way. People will be like, wow, dude, you're insane.
Yeah.
And people will come to you that way. Other than that, interacting with big games on Reddit, especially, like I said, on Reddit, if you play World of Warcraft, they have a subreddit.
Sure.
Use their subreddit. Talk with people on there. People see your name, be like, oh, wow, okay, this guy's, super active. Maybe you'll get mod on that subreddit or something like that, and that's a great way to get yourself out there as well.
Sure. Do you have, this is sort of a side question, but for your username on Reddit, is it just Nexus? Is it Nexus on Twitch?
It's Nexus on Twitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I think that's smart because people make that connection. Even if you just chat about random stuff, like, oh, this guy's a streamer. Maybe I'll check him out if he said something cool.
Yeah. So you don't want to be so much like selling out's great. Don't get me wrong. It's a good way to do it. But you got to kind of draw a very, very fine line between like making your Reddit name Twitch TV _ Nexus or something like that. And just try to find like a middle ground for your name. Like, for example, I don't know, Mufter TTV or something like that.
Yep.
And just kind of try to find that middle ground where it's like, hey, I have a Twitch, but I'm not totally selling out.
Right. It's a fine balance to walk for sure. Yeah. I think you can use that on games and stuff like that too, if you're careful.
Yeah. Games is a little different. You can totally sell out. Twitch.com/Nexus is my name on Steam half the time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you ever like post your Twitch link in lobbies and stuff?
Maybe.
I mean, honestly, if it works,
if it works, why not do it? I mean, posting your Twitch in lobbies and stuff like that's a great way to get people get mad at you. They'll be like, "Oh, you're weird," whatever, or go into like a PUBG lobby and say, "Hey, I'm streaming." You might get stream snipers, but if you're better than them, you'll kill them, and then you might.
And then what do you have to lose anyway, right? They're gone in 30 seconds. So.
Yep.
Cool. So let's keep moving on here a little bit. So some of these questions are tough to move through, like considering the way you got partnership, just because I think it's so hard for other people to kind of, go through that same exact process.
Yeah.
But basically, so far on your stream, being partnered, what are some of the, you think, best things you've done during your streaming career, like your biggest strengths? What you think kind of set you up for success, whether that was joining a team, and being part of that environment, or being around other streamers, finding mentors? What do you think are some of like the best things you've found to help your stream so far?
Okay, so one of the biggest things is just reaching out to streamers. A lot of smaller streamers are afraid to reach out to, like, example, Summit or something like that. Don't be afraid to go around and shoot people emails and say, "Hey, can I talk to you for like 10 minutes one day and just talk streaming?" or something like that. Don't be afraid to reach out to bigger people. The worst thing that's going to happen is they're just going to give you the big old NO, and you're just going to have to move on and maybe hit them up later when you're a little bit bigger and they're like, "Oh, wow, this guy's got like 20K. I might talk to him." And next thing you know, you got something going on. But it's throwing yourself into things that you aren't necessarily comfortable with, but you kind of want to learn.
Sure.
Like esports, I threw myself into that at such a young age. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. And, I was kind of just reaching out to a mentor, basically, and having mentors to, kind of guide me through it and learn through all the esports stuff.
Right. Is that how your little thing with Tim came about? Did you actually reach out to him yourself?
Yeah. So I just shot him an email, and it happened that way. And I mean, I send people emails. I have like a couple hours a week where I'll just shoot emails to bigger streamers. I talked with Dr. Lupo not too long ago on Discord, just off of messaging him. I just went to his Discord and messaged him and say, "Hey, dude, can we talk sometime?" And I just messaged him for maybe 10, 15 minutes. And I mean, they want you. They don't want to say that they're open to be like reached out to, because then they'll just get a lot of trolls. But if you reach out to them, there's a large chance that they'll be like, "Yeah, dude, I can talk for like 5 minutes. What's up?"
Sure. So, I think probably everyone kind of has that conception of, well, Summit will never talk to me. I'm just nobody, right? But like everyone has that same idea. So really, not many people are actually reaching out. I think.
Yeah. So.
Go ahead.
What they're thinking it as, like, if you look at a popular streamer, what people think they are is like some incredibly famous person that you'll see like walking down the street. Maybe you'll get an autograph from or something like that. Like if you went to, I don't know, if you saw Kim Kardashian on the street, right? They're super closed off. They don't want to talk to anybody. They just kind of move on with their day. That's because they're harassed so much. But as a streamer, you're not really harassed in that type of way. So you can kind of just reach out to people and be like, "Hey, look, I just want to talk to you, talk streaming." And most big streamers love talking streaming with smaller streamers. Yeah. Because a lot of the time you can exchange ideas. Like some smaller streamers like, "Hey, dude, I have a great idea. You should try this." And then, maybe it works out. But yeah, don't be afraid to reach out.
Sure. No, I think that's true. Even I could probably work on that myself. I've thought about that with podcasts or with whatever. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is they'll say no, right? And then you can always ask again later, as long as you're not incessant. So
yeah, as long as you're not annoying them, it's pretty easy to reach out to them.
That's awesome.
Another thing is, what you got to think of is a lot of the stuff that I quote unquote succeed from. It's really like how I keep messing up, and then you kind of just bounce back from it. You can't really
brood on it.
You can't really brood on it. That's the best way to put it. You just kind of have to try to bounce back from it, learn from it, and move on.
For sure. So to go along with that, that's actually my next question kind of is, do you have like a certain memory of streaming where you failed really hard, but you learned something from it, or maybe a few instances that come to mind?
When it was more of an attitude thing. It was just I was trying to copy people. I was trying to, be part of this, Tyler One type theme where it's just super toxic, getting mad about stupid stuff. And I was trying to copy that, kind of try to copy Doc, stuff like that. And it was working, but it wasn't me, if that makes sense. So that was probably my biggest mistake. He's trying to copy other people. Sure, it's good to like take ideas, but it's not a good idea to just color copy somebody and try to do what they do and try to do it a little bit better. It's not the best idea. You just should be you within streaming. Too many people are trying to copy each other and do what each other are doing. And it just, sure, you might get temporary fame off of it, but you'll lose viewers quickly, and it just doesn't end up good.
Sure. That's a cool topic we haven't talked a lot about because, so why did you copy them and why do you think it worked? Was that, like, what's the story behind that?
So why I copied them? Because I wanted Insta fame, basically. I was being stupid. I was like, wow, I got my partner. I'm going to copy these guys. It's going to be so easy. And it wasn't easy. I did get viewers off of it, of course, because people thought it was funny. But like I said, it wasn't me, and I didn't feel comfortable doing it. I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. And one day that's when I changed my name. I was just like, I'm done. I'm changing everything and done.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think we talk about this sometimes in the show. Trying to do a character stream, or, Tyler One isn't necessarily a character, but the way he kind of presents himself is really a character.
Yes.
There's a big trade-off there in terms of being able to sustain it when it's not just you streaming yourself. So it's cool to hear someone who's actually tried to go through that and has felt the burnout, it sounds like.
It was, sure, some people may succeed within it, of course. Obviously Doc succeeded. But as an example, you kind of notice, this isn't hitting on Doc in any way. This isn't trying to, make him just target him. But you've kind of noticed as he's, continued with this, he had a massive viewer base. He was the biggest guy on Twitch. So Ninja. But he's the biggest guy on Twitch. And as you've seen, slowly over time, he's losing viewers. It's because it's not as interesting for people as it was.
The novelty, yeah.
Yeah. At the start, it was like, oh, dude, this guy's so different. He's insane. But then, people started copying him. People spread out. And you just kind of lose viewers. Whereas, people have been themselves, the same people. Shroud, Summit, Tim the Top Man again. You notice how they keep generally the same viewers, if not more. So, yeah.
That's a cool topic. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that. I think they can still happen to people who are still themselves, but again, I think the tricky part about being a character streamer is you have to keep being that character, right? You can never put that down because you can't just like take a chill day where you're going to be yourself for a day,
right?
As opposed to most streamers who can just have like a more low energy day or something.
Yeah, you can just chill stream, throw some music on and go.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at someone who has to have high energy all the time, and it's hard. It's hard.
Absolutely. Cool. So we're kind of sort of wrapping up towards the end of the show, but looking back again, actually looking forward, I guess. Now that you're partnered, I think a lot of people put partnership on sort of a pedestal on Twitch as like the ultimate goal. At least smaller streamers do.
Yeah.
As someone who's already partnered, what kind of goals do you have now on Twitch moving forward?
See, that was my mistake as an affiliate. I put it on pedestal, and I didn't think past it, what I was going to do past it. So as soon as I got partner, I'm sitting there like, awesome, I got partner. Yes. Next day I'm like, I have partner. What do I do?
Right.
So I'm still in that position where I'm like, okay, what do I do now? Like, that's why I'm trying to reach out to people. I'm like, okay, I'm partner. I don't know what to do. Like, you can look through my Google search history. It's, okay, I'm a Twitch partner. What do I do now? Like, just trying to learn about how to continue on from that point. But I've kind of learned that you just kind of have to keep streaming. It's a point to hit that's excellent, and people come in from it, but you don't really want to change yourself once you hit it. It's, you just got to continue what you're doing, do what you do, and that's pretty much it. Did
anything really change for you after you hit partnership after affiliate, whether that was maybe streaming is more sustainable now with money, or maybe more opportunities, things like that?
Yeah, so I'm in no place to be a full-time streamer. It's the money isn't at that point right now, but the viewership has gotten better. I've been working on becoming more consistent. I've been taking a break recently. But I've been working on becoming more consistent. The quality of my stream, as in like the emotes, the overlays, stuff like that, that's a major thing to focus on. If you have an excellent overlay, people will stay. 100%. If they like your overlay, and sometimes no overlay is the best overlay. If you have a green screen, which is a great thing to have, if you have a green screen, that's a huge plus to your stream. That really helps it. But yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I hadn't thought about. See, we had a debate about this last week actually. I think it's interesting to say, definitely things about your stream that are really good will help you kind of grab people's attention more. That could be an overlay, that could be audio, whatever.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're focusing right now on trying to kind of beef up those areas of your stream.
Yes.
Just quality around the board. Awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of physical stuff that you can buy, like a stream deck. That's a great thing to add to your little group of electronics to have. But you can really just stream with the base stuff at this point. It's so open to people coming, and
right.
Yeah, it's great.
Absolutely. Do you have any sort of specific goals now? Whether that's a certain number of followers or subs, or just like to stream more consistently, social media?
Point, I'm pretty much YOLOing it. My goal is to hit 10K hopefully by the end of this year, and continue up from there. It's a pretty big goal, but I think it is definitely possible. And yeah, that's my main goal right now, is just hit 10K followers and go from there.
Awesome, dude. Well, best of luck to you on that.
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna need it.
Yeah. Well, that's most of the questions I have for you. Basically, I think we could just kind of sum this up with your best tips and advice for people looking to go down this path of partnership. Any like big lessons you've learned that you want to make people know before they get the partnership, to think about, anything like that?
Consistency is the biggest thing. If your community can expect you to be streaming 4 p.m. every day, they'll be there. Most of them will be there. Consistency is the biggest thing. If you're able to be consistent, you'll gain viewers 100%. You'll become a better streamer. And having a schedule really helps. If you can like have your phone out, have a schedule every day, have 2 hours set aside, or an hour or 30 minutes just to work on your stream, write down notes. What can I do better? And just kind of review, just go through yourself and think. Have a journal that you write in. I have a journal. I don't know where it is, but it just has a bunch of ideas that I've written down for streaming and stuff like that. And just have a moment to think about what you want to do. And there was a saying that I heard, I think Roman was the last one that I heard say this, was if you just shoot for the stars for everything, you can't really lose if you just shoot for the stars. So if you're at like 100 followers, think, all right, I'm going to hit 10K at some point, right? The worst thing that can happen is you hit 5K at the end of the year, right? Or you hit 600 followers at the end of the year. Even that's a huge amount.
Yeah.
So just shoot for, just have big dreams within streaming.
Sure.
Don't keep it kind of boxed into a little area like, okay, I have 100 followers right now. I want to hit 110 by the end of the month. So you just have big goals. Big
right.
goals. That's what I've always heard.
Do you think
thought as well.
Do you think it can backfire on you though, having like too big goals and then not getting anywhere near them?
So I'm I find myself to be really, really ambitious. A lot of people have said I'm really, really ambitious. So that's how my mind works. If I shoot really big, I will work my butt off for it. It can backfire on you, and you kind of have to, if you shoot for massive goals like that, you kind of have to expect it to possibly backfire. There's a bigger chance for you to backfire if you're aiming for something that big. But you kind of just learn to accept it and like, all right, cool. You know what? I maybe didn't hit 10K at the end of the year, but I'm at 7,000, right?
Right.
That's excellent. I've gained a ton. I feel good about myself, and kind of just move on, make another big goal. So yeah.
So just kind of find what works with you, and generally shooting big so that no matter what, you end up somewhere good.
And I mean, of course, making small goals for the future and stuff like that's excellent. But I have found personally that shooting for bigger goals has helped me.
Awesome, dude. Well, that is most of the questions. So it sounds like the biggest piece of advice for people is just be consistent, is what I'm hearing.
Be consistent and be you.
Awesome. Well, you heard it from Nexus himself, guys. Be consistent and be you. That is going to be it for my main discussion with Nexus. So now, if you have a question for us about anything, just tag at GreenChord or at Nexus in the chat, and we will address your questions. They could be about streaming. They could be about partnership. They could be about what we ate for lunch, whatever. If you got a question for it, we will answer it. So let us know. Real quickly, while we wait for some questions to come in here, you mentioned Tim the Tap Man, some other big streamers. What streamers do you look up to right now as kind of role models for your own stream?
Right now, it's still, Tim is my biggest role model, 100%. But right now, Tim and Summit are my two main, and Grims as well.
Okay.
Those are kind of the group of three people that I really look up to.
Awesome. What about their streams in particular do you really like?
I just like how they're them and they're chill and they don't do anything insane. I just enjoy chill streams. I enjoy maintaining a chill stream. Of course, get hyped for some stuff, but yeah.
Cool. Yeah, just keeping it real, I guess.
Keeping it real is the best way that I've found. Of course, getting hype, sometimes you just got to.
Sometimes you have to. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to.
So Retro Date Night in the chat has a question. Says, what are the best colors to wear for green screen to help with light balance and such? You have a great green screen going on right now. What kind of tips do you have for that?
Best color to wear as in what I'm wearing or like?
I think they're just saying in general.
Okay, in general?
Yeah.
I usually do dark colors, like black. Don't wear green unless you want to be a floating head. Definitely dark. I found darker colors work better. It's bigger contrast between this and the green behind me. But the major thing is you can really wear any color except like green and lighter blue. Some, like he says, some lighter blues will key out, but the best way to counter that is to have good lighting. Lighting is a requirement. Like a green screen may cost like $12, but I've spent like $150, $200 on light.
Sure.
So lighting is the major point. Like you have to have good lighting.
So follow up to that. What are your tips for lighting a green screen very well? Like in terms of how many lights, where to put them, etc.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have 5 lights. I have 2 in front of me, 1 to the side, and then I have 2 behind. The ones lighting up the green screen itself are the most important ones because there isn't a shadow. You don't want to have a shadow. You want to be far enough away from the green screen to not have a shadow, because then that will show up on the green screen. So your best bet is to have the strongest lighting behind you and then some lighting obviously in front of you to light up your face.
Right. Yeah, so it sounds like it's really important to make sure that you just get even lighting across the board.
Yes.
Because then you get really specific keying and don't have to take out things from shirts and eyes and gear, etc.
Yeah, and some yellows, like Instinct said, some yellows will as well. You kind of just have to jump around, but I personally recommend wearing darker colors. That's just your best bet.
Simple and easy.
Yep.
Awesome. So GamerDadNC in the chat says, do partners feel a need or obligation to help mentor some streamers to help them reach partnership? As a partner, do you find people begging you for hosts and raids to boost their numbers? That's kind of 2 questions, but basically, first of all, do you feel a need or obligation to help mentor other streamers to reach partnership?
No, 100%. I don't feel any obligation to need or help anybody. But if they reach out to me, I'm more than happy to. It just, obviously depends on if I have time for this or whatever. But having smaller streamers reach out to me, because knowing that I got lucky, right? I am more than happy to help people. It's a huge thing for me to be able to help other streamers, help other people reach affiliate, stuff like that. So, I don't think partners really feel an obligation to, but I think some of them enjoy helping smaller streamers because they know that they were in that position at one point where they were pulling 2-3 viewers a stream or 30 viewers a stream or whatever. Right.
So it's not an obligation, just something you want to do anyway, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So then on the flip side too of that, do you have a lot of people come into your stream asking for hosts, raids, etc. to help you out?
Don't do that. Please, for the love of God, do not do that. That is begging for hosts, begging for stuff like that is the worst thing you can do. If you go into someone's chat and, say, hey dude, can you host me please? Thank you. Bye. And leave their chat. It's like, I don't know who you are. Why are you asking for a host?
Do you get that a lot on your stream?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, geez.
I just had someone message me a little bit ago asking, are you going to stream and can you host me? So I just got one on Steam.
Oh my gosh.
The best way to do that is if you become friends with that streamer, show up for his streams. Say like, be active in the chat. Maybe, be like, hey dude, I'm super active. Can I become a mod or something like that?
Sure.
And once you engage with that streamer and, show up for his streams, sometimes they'll be like, all right, dude, this guy's been here a ton. Why not host him? Is he streaming? So don't ask for that type of stuff unless you've been friends with the streamer for a while. You've been a long time viewer, things like that. Begging for a host, begging for a follow or anything like that, it's the worst way to do it. There's a thing going on right now called electrical longboard and electrical skateboard, which I'm sure you've heard about.
I have not actually.
There are 2 Twitch channels that do raids for people. You basically go in their chat and you spam your Twitch link, which is interesting because then they'll just host you randomly with about 150 viewers. Things like that, I personally don't think it's the best idea, but
Right.
I mean, if you want that viewer boost, you're not going to necessarily get that engagement with any of them because they're going to be in that same channel spamming, but you'll still get that viewer boost and things like that, which is good. So just try to find things like that, and do not, please, this is a major thing. Small streamers, I know, and any streamer really, I know what you're going to think. You're going to see a viewer bot or something like that, and you're going to think, oh dude, I could just pay for like 20 viewers and get something like that. You'll be found out so quickly. It's Twitch is on that so well. Don't use viewer bots. You're just gonna get hate from it.
Yeah.
You'll think it's a good idea, but it'll just kick you in the butt
Until it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Until it's not, and until you don't have a stream anymore.
Right. Now, I haven't actually heard of the electrical skateboard and longboard stuff. I have to look into that after this. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like basically like a raiding or hosting party. Is that what it sounds like?
It's a Twitch channel that has a bot in it, and you do, I think it's !host and then your channel name, and you get entered into a giant raffle, and then they might host you.
Huh.
So if you look in your viewer list, I'm pretty sure it's in every single chat above like 3 viewers on Twitch. So
Wow.
I would not be surprised if he's in here.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, he actually is. He's in this channel right now.
That's crazy.
Yep.
All right, let's look at that later. But Mr. Pure Instinct says, you said to have a set schedule. What do you think about a rotating schedule? Some days and some evenings. What do you think about a split day? Some hours in the morning and some hours in the evening. Basically, having a set versus, I guess, a rotating schedule, is what it sounds like.
So,
actually, 2 questions first, basically.
Yeah.
The first is rotating. So, some days, some evenings, it's, maybe you stream at 8 a.m. Tuesday and then at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. What do you think of that?
That's totally fine as long as your community knows. As long as you make that, panels are huge as well. I'll talk about that later. But panels are a huge thing as well. Make sure you have a panel with with your schedule. There's a extension, I believe, for your schedule. Having rotating schedule, 8 a.m. one day and then 10 a.m. the next day or something like that is not bad at all. Just as long as you have that marked down and you stick with it, that's fine.
And then what about split days? So say you do, a lot of big streamers do this actually. So you stream from 8 to 1 in the morning and then take a break for a couple hours and then come back at 6 to 9 or something.
That's what I do. I do that a lot as well. Sometimes I've kind of switched it up, but doing split days is great because you need that break.
Right.
Streaming is mentally draining. It'll tire you out. I know you're sitting in front of a computer all day and people, say, no, it's not really. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you can agree with that. It is mentally draining. So having that break is great.
Yeah.
So I would recommend, if anything, if you're an all-day type of streamer, I would recommend doing split days.
Yeah. I would also say, given the fact that there are a lot of huge streamers who do this, maybe there's something there. Maybe you should try to copy them to see why they're doing it, if it makes a difference for your channel.
Definitely.
If you have the time to do it, basically. But
definitely.
Awesome. Thanks for all the love in the chat, guys. McKittens, Bear, good to see you guys. Susie QQ, you did not miss it all. We're still taking questions, guys. If you'd like to ask a question, just tag us or ask us in the chat, and we will get to you.
I think DI Bear, were you part of Damaged Incorporated? I think he was, because not many people have that name.
That was for your team, right?
Yeah, that was the team.
That's pretty
Never
cool.
know. Yeah.
What's up, Angry Grinja? So, question of my own for you. When you started streaming, was there any one or two streamers that really got you excited about it, or was it just Twitch as a whole? Where did that kind of start?
Yet again, the man, the myth, the legend, Tim the Tap Man was the one, like I said, who got me started. I was watching him since like 20,000 followers, and I don't know. I just found it interesting. I don't know what pulled me from streaming. What I thought was great about it. I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. I want to try it. So yeah, he was the one. He was the one.
And continues to be the one, it sounds like.
Continues. He is the one.
There are a lot of big streamers who have been inspired by Tim and continue to be inspired by Tim. So
definitely.
He's got some sort of... it's great to see some of these bigger streamers being so positive and and making other people want to start streaming. I mean, that's great for the platform as a whole.
Yeah, like I said, the reaching out part is the main thing. You guys need to... Any streamer, whether you're partnered, you're not partnered, reach out to someone... Network with people. Networking is huge. If you can get a group of people together and stream every day at the same time and do a multi-stream link or something like that, it's huge. Networking is a major thing, and obviously you guys at TRUgaming have something great with that, with the streaming program that you have, and that is massive, having that type of networking. So make sure you try and network. It's the best thing you can do, and doing it through social media is an excellent way.
Awesome. Yeah. Evil Aura's in the chat. He says hi to you. I guess he knows you.
Yep. I know him.
What's up, Evil? So again, guys, please feel free to keep asking questions. But so on networking a little bit more then, do you have a few certain streamers that you work with networking a lot? Maybe Evil, I don't know, but other people or communities that you're part of that help you network?
So there was a team that I was part of called B42, and they would do massive raids for people, which, I found was great. But after a certain point, you realize, hey, if I get raided, I'm not really getting any returning viewers, concurrent viewers off of that.
Right.
I'm getting, a quick boost of 30 viewers. I might get 5 or 6 people in from that who stay here. And that's a great thing, right? That's a great thing when you're small. You get some quick followers, get a little bit bigger, help you with affiliation. But as you get further on, as you get affiliate, you realize, okay, well, this quick boost in viewers might help a little bit. I might get 5, 6 people that stay, but it's not the same as being able to network with a streamer or other streamers you can stream with, and have people from his community come over to your community go over to his community, and just work together. Right. And become one.
Sure.
Yeah.
So are there a couple streamers that you kind of work with in that way now that you've kind of learned that?
So I started by joining communities and stuff like that, but then I really focused on creating a community because I didn't like what was happening with other communities. I didn't like the way they were working, the people who were running them. So I've been working on it. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I
was going to say, were there like specific things that you really just kind of rubbed you the wrong way?
It felt like the people running it were really leeching off of the people below. Like in the applications form, it'd be like, yeah, well, if you follow me, you have to follow me in order to be in this community, or you have to follow this certain list of people. Not going to say what community, Twitch Kittens. What community, but you got to be smart about which community you pick. Right. Because once you pick a community, you don't want to jump around. You want to stay with it. I made that mistake of jumping around communities. Right. And as you jump around, right, you start bottom of the totem pole all over again. And you don't want to start at that bottom of the totem pole. You really want to just work your way up and become, Right.
Better to go deep in one place than like shallow in everywhere, basically.
Bunch of them. I mean, It is good, obviously, to reach out to a bunch of them, but focusing kind of on one thing and, growing in that one way or through that one community and then, taking that time you spend on that one and spend it on the next one, and, grow a lot in that one is great.
Right. Awesome. Snoobhog TV in the chat says, do you find that people ever harass for the way you got partnered? I can imagine with the darker side of Twitch, it can become an issue. I think it's a good way to go about it, but I can see people trolling, seeing as even the non-partners are trolled for content.
Yes. A lot of the times when I'm talking to people and they're like, oh, you stream? I'm like, yeah, I'm a Twitch partner. And then they check my channel like, dude, how did you get partnered? It's like that happens tons. The best thing you can do, the best thing I've learned to do is ignore them.
Yeah.
Just move on. You can't let Twitch trolls, like there are millions of them out there. You guys are going to have to deal with them no matter what. If they're Twitch trolls, let them be. And most of the time, your community will take care of them. The people in chat will be like, hey, dude, shut up. We don't want to deal with you. Get out of here. Or your mods will time them out or something like that. As a streamer, don't worry about them. Just don't pay attention to them.
That's a cool lesson, though, because no one's immune to it, right? Like,
no one's
partnership does not save you from the trolls.
Yeah, you're getting it. If you hit that start streaming button,
right,
you're getting trolled. You're gonna get trolled. It's happening. So yeah, you just kind of have to deal with it.
Yeah, no, that's cool though, because it's crazy to think about. Even after getting partnership, there's still people that kind of want to, invalidate you as well. This goes for every level too. Like, well, you're not affiliate. Well, you're not a partner. Well, you only get this many viewers. Well, you could always be. Someone's always going to knock you down for something.
At one point, it was just getting super annoying, and I did go off on one person one time about it. And it's when you're an affiliate. If you're not an affiliate. If you're a partner, if you're whatever, you're going to catch hate no matter what. Streaming and exposing yourself to the internet, you're going to get hate. You're going to be memed. You're going to get turned into some joke or inside joke that you're never going to understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of just have to accept it and be like, all right, you know what? That's what happens, and just move on.
Sure. No, yeah, I think learning to deal with that is a big part of streaming that takes a while. Yeah. But, yeah. Dan Stream says, with people in school that start streaming, such as myself in my final year of high school, do you think it's a good idea to promote your stream to people if the topic comes up? Because harassment for Twitch streaming and such in high school can be brutal sometimes. Have you ever experienced, were you streaming during high school or maybe during college in similar situations?
Well, I'm still in high school.
Okay.
I'm still in, I'm graduating this year, but I started streaming in 6th, 7th grade. That's when I just kind of did it every so often. And then kind of, obviously moved on from there. But if you get harassed in high school, treat it like a Twitch troll. That's my best way to think of it.
Sure.
Ignore it. Let it go. If it gets to a certain point, obviously, talk to a teacher. I know everybody's like, oh, you're a wimp if you go talk to a teacher. But if it gets to a certain point where it is physical harassment or anything like that, obviously talk to a teacher. But if it's just some verbal crap that they're saying like, hey, dude, Twitch streamer, you're a loser. You don't do anything all day. It's like, in your head, you're like, well, obviously I am doing something. I know I'm doing something. Why does it matter what they say?
Yep, absolutely.
So, you have to kind of build a mental block. That's the best way.
Sure. Yeah, this is crazy because I never deal with this side of Twitch. I didn't start until I was in college. So it's interesting to think about that. But
yeah.
Also, excuse me, my voice is totally going. I'm sorry about that.
I got you. It's all good.
Vegas said, when is the right time to start looking for mods for your channel? That's a good question.
Mods will come to you. That's the best way I think of it. If you have someone who shows up for your stream consistently, they're nice in chat, they talk to you, interactive, answer what I look for is if there's someone who in my chat asks, hey dude, what's your camera settings for Rocket League? So I don't have to, avoid, kind of divert my stream and talk about my camera settings. I look for someone in chat who says, oh yeah, dude, real quick, if you just do exclamation point camera, you can see what his camera settings are. If you see someone doing that consistently, you're like, okay, dude, this guy's obviously good. And, talk to him in Discord like, hey dude, you want to be mod? So that's how I've always found to do it. They'll kind of come to you. You'll find that to be true.
Do you think it's ever too early to start looking for mods, or just as soon as you start streaming, basically?
So there's a strategy that I've thought of, and it has worked with multiple people. So if you mod a large amount of people at the beginning, right, those people will show up for your stream most of the time. So that's an easy way to get 10, 15 viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Is if you mod a group of people and say, hey, look, if you're a mod, you have to at least have my tab open. or at least be able to look at chat every so often. It's an easy way to get a couple of viewers. It's kind of cheap, sure, whatever, but it's a pretty easy way to get a couple of viewers.
Sure.
And of course, then you have mods in your chat.
Yeah. No, I think that's mixed feelings. Like, on one hand, your entire chat is moderators, but I think it is a good idea to let people start getting involved in controlling your stream from day one.
Yes.
Even
definitely.
if you're going to do just a few mods or something, the more you can let people have an influence on your channel and feel like they matter to it and they're important to it, that makes them want to come out. And so I think that's a good way to start, like you mentioned, up to 10 or 15. At some point, you probably don't want to keep doing that because it doesn't scale.
Well, yeah. So there is at some point where you want to kind of chill with that. Like 10, 15 is the most you want to have as a very small, as a, let's say 20 viewer streamer.
Sure.
Because then that's, a massive part of your stream, right?
Right.
It's basically mod chat. So at that point, you kind of want to stop. And I would say once you get to about 40 viewers, about every 10 viewers that you have up to a certain amount, it's good to have like at least one mod.
Yeah,
I think that is if your chat's going really fast.
Right. I think having like a number rule is a good idea, especially as you scale bigger and bigger. Like for every X number of viewers, I will have Y number of moderators in my chat or something.
Yeah.
That's probably good to think about as you get to those bigger numbers.
There was a question that I saw. Where did it go? It was one that I think it was Susie, or who was it? It was DI Bear that asked something about being a female and streaming.
Yeah. Die Bear.
Oh, there it is. I see it.
Yeah. How do you pick a community? There are so many. I'm an older female streamer, so I've considered some of the girl communities, but I'm unsure. So basically, how do you pick a community? And then also as a girl, how does that play in? If you can relate to that.
Yeah, I can. A lot, the community that the esports team that I'm with right now, that I'm working on right now, we have girl streamers within there, so I do deal with a lot of female streamers. And as a female streamer, you're on the internet, you're gonna have to deal with a certain amount of just BS coming towards you. There are 12-year-olds out there who are a little bit, special, and you're gonna deal with that type stuff, so you kind of have to find a community that's going to support you with that. That's a very small part of it as well, but don't be afraid to just reach out to random communities. All girl communities are great. I've seen a bunch of them on Twitch, especially in the CS area. I've noticed they're a lot more growing. Obviously, there are communities within IRL and stuff like that, which are great. Depending on what game, Overwatch, I know if you're from EU, if you're European, send me a message after this, or even if you're North American, because there's a community of Overwatch players, which is all girls that I'm in. Not saying I'm a girl that I'm in.
That doesn't really make sense.
There's a community of all girl streamers. I'm just in their Discord.
Okay.
Because I was working with their team, and they're all girl Overwatch players. Some of them are from EU, some of them are from NA. So just message me after this on Discord, and I will talk to you about that. Definitely. I'll send that your way. But overall, just reach out to communities. Don't be afraid, and
find which one works for you, basically.
Yeah, there are millions out there.
Yeah.
There are millions out there, and the best way is the Twitch Purple thing, the Purple Plus on Reddit. You can find communities that way. Really good.
I think we are on there, by the way. I know we're on the official Twitch teams.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So I don't know. I'll have to check Purple Plus. I know we're on Reddit. I don't know about that. So I saw one up here from Phantom Score said, how did you get your Discord growing? Like, how did you promote it? So tips on Discord growth.
I spammed my Steam friends list, telling them to join my Discord. And I gained my first 200 people on my Discord from that.
Wow.
Then after that, you kind of just have to, have a good Discord, have a good community. I have movie nights not every night, but like every Saturday night on my Discord. And we'll sit and watch a movie as a group. And I'll do a screen share, and we'll do it through like Rabbit or something like that. And you sit there and watch a movie. And you have to interact with your community to grow it. If you have events every so often, and have tournaments and stuff like that, people invite their friends to the Discord. Next thing you know, you're going from 10 people in your Discord to 50 to 100. You really have to Discord's a great way, to get some community, some interaction, some stuff like that. It's a great platform.
Yeah. I'll touch on this one a little bit too as well.
Yeah.
Since we've got a pretty big Discord.
Yeah.
One thing I've learned a lot recently actually with our Discord is the importance of making sure everyone gets heard or addressed or feels like they're being seen. Because the problem with our Discord sometimes is there's so much chatter going on that people will say something and just totally get missed. And I always try to go out of my way, and we've actually brought on people in the community now as heralds to try to make sure those people are still getting addressed, the people are talking to them, making them feel welcome, because you have to make sure that you can keep adding people in, but at some point it gets tough to try and say hi to every single person in there. So having a team of people who are dedicated to, I guess like the new person experience is what you could call it, has really helped us a lot. So maybe that's something to look into.
Definitely.
Cool. So an angry Grinja, welcome to the show for the first time again, by the way. I want to network, but want to follow the advice of not doing follow for follow. I kindly tried to say I didn't want to do that and explained I will check out the channel, and apparently offended a few people. How do you approach that and handle that? Trying to network, but don't feel that is a good way to get viewers.
Find a different community.
Right. Yeah.
That's all you can do. Is if there is follow for follow, it's cool and all, but most of the time you'll just get unfollowed 10 minutes later. It's follow for follow is not a good strategy. Find a community that is going to support you other than with just a follow. Mm-hmm. Follow for follow can help you at the start.
Yes.
But past 20 followers, it's pointless.
Yeah. I always say use follow for follower to get to affiliate, because that's literally just like 50 followers or something.
Yeah. That's true. But yeah, once you get to a certain point, right, follow for follow, that's not a viewer, it's a follower.
Yeah.
Right. What's better to have, 50 viewers or 50 followers?
Yeah. Don't use follow for follow as a way to grow your channel. Use it as a way to get affiliate and then stop. That's what I always say. But yeah, I would agree with that. Basically, if you're just talking about general streamers looking for that, then just ignore them would be my advice. Because people will do that, like pop into your stream and say, hey, I'll follow you if you follow me, or whatever. You can straight up ban them if they do that.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of communities that are about that, I would kind of agree with what you said. That's not what we run our community by, and I'm not a personal fan of it. So
it's a strategy that people use to get quick and easy fame. Mm-hmm. Which again, like I said, you've seen what happens with that. So yeah.
Sure. Cool. Looking through here, we're kind of wrapping up the show. Oh, it's already 1:03 anyway. So yeah, I don't see a whole lot of other questions. If you guys have any other questions, just get them in really quickly here, but we will kind of start wrapping up the show. Nexus, dude, thank you so much for coming on and being a guest on this week. Finally, got you on.
Yes, definitely.
Is there anything you want to tell everybody before we kind of sign off about your channel, where they can find you?
So my channel, you can catch me every day. Plug right now. Catch me every day, 4 p.m. Eastern, every day. And Siri just went off for some reason. 4 p.m. Eastern every day, twitch.tv/Nexus. Twitter, Instagram, Nexus on Twitch. Follow me. I do giveaways and stuff a lot. So, yeah.
Awesome. We will, considering you stream at 4, we will probably look to raid you then, since that lines up perfectly with our own channel. So you guys can go watch Doc after this and then go right to Nexus after that. So whole day of content planned out for you. See what we did there?
There you go, dude. Definitely. Easily. That's totally planned, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Again, we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. I'll be with Supervid and Pure Chaos 26, and we'll be talking. It's the call-in show, so you can call in and ask anything about Twitch that's come up in the past week, general thoughts about Twitch, whatever. You can call in via Discord, be on the show, stir up the pot, and have some great conversations. So anyway, we will see you guys later, and hope you have a great date. Adios.
Peace out.